What's up, guys? My name is College Sports Survived, and I welcome you back to the College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series featuring Coach Carter in his fourth year of Fordham Hoops. This young Ram roster finally gets to catch their breath a little bit after a fun preseason tournament last episode, which ended in a tough loss against a former rival. We fell 8 points shy of the NIT championship against the Memphis Tigers, a team that played a big role in Coach Carter's previous series with the UT Martin Skyhawks. Coach Carter went 1-2 against the Tigers, back with the Skyhawks, with all games being decided by 10 points or less. Unfortunately, Ken Carter wouldn't get the better of the Tigers in the long-awaited rematch. Their speed was just too much for us, excelling on the fast break while making plays on defense. Pat Park was the lone starter who made an impact with a 22-7 stat line. The bench also impressed as well, with Dustin Black, Chen Lee, and Timo all playing big minutes. And after the unreliability of the bench throughout this series to this point, this game was definitely a breath of fresh air in that regard. The Rams get to breathe a little bit after the tournament. They have 3 days to relax, watch film, and catch up on their studies before the biggest game of possibly the entire series takes place. A year ago, Coach Carter led Fordham to their first tournament berth since the early 90s, but came up short to the now number 2 team in the country. That is correct. The Rams fly to East Lansing today for a rematch against Tom Izzo's Spartans. We just discussed our biggest rival of the UT Martin era of this series, the Memphis Tigers. Perhaps depending on what happens today, we might have the new villain of this era of Ken Carter's college coaching tenure, with Michigan State just narrowly sneaking out of that triple overtime thriller a year ago. They were an 8th seed last year. They brought back every starter from that game, and now they boast an offense that has top 3 ranks in the nation offensively. Not only do they have the talent, but they also have the rapport as well. Ahmad Mathis may be the leading scorer through the first 6 games, but he's not the guy that most concerns me. That's actually Donnell Abrams, who single-handedly destroyed us on the glass a year ago. We also need to keep an eye on 6'8 guard Tavon Kinlaw, who's one of the best defenders in college basketball, and held Kai Hendry to an ugly game last year. This is a huge game for our leader. Can Kaya find a way to overcome the matchup and respond after the loss? It's time to find out. We're here in East Lansing as we head onto the hostile Breslin Center. And as we take a look at the pre-game lineups, these are the 5 that Tom Izzo is sending out, and they all should be familiar names to you guys. All 5 starters return for another year of Spartan Hoops, with Donnell Abrams facing off against Lloyd Hicks today. We didn't have him last year in the loss. Let's see if he can put a stop to Donnell Abrams' dominance on the glass against us. And we'll begin going inside the post to number 32, kicking it out opposite wing, and it's Pat Park for 3. Hopefully that'll help quiet down this very imposing and intimidating Breslin center. That's one of the things that worries me. It was a neutral site last year, but this time around, we got to go into hostile territory. Nick Barrett from the baseline extends the Michigan State lead, actually gives them their first lead of the game, 5-3. And here's that press again. All game long, we saw this dangerous pass there by Pinkala, but hopefully with Damian Carter on the team this time around, we can limit our turnovers. That was one huge culprit in the loss for sure. So Damian Carter's coach on the floor abilities definitely need to come in handy today. Good defense there by Lloyd Hicks, but he's out on the perimeter, so he can't help out the little guys down low. Nick Barrett scores yet again. Kai Hendry puts his foot in the ground and tries to attack the trap, as they were not set up, but Abrams with the closing speed blocks his shot, and he's not off to a good start as he tries to respond after that tough 2 for 10 shooting performance last year. He's got the ball again, baseline jumper, yes, this time it goes. Hendry on the board here early. And he didn't have to have a big game last year. Remember, we had go-to guys like Preston Murphy and Fabian Swanson, but Hendry wanted the spotlight there in the second half, but he just couldn't deliver. We go high to low here at this time, and Lloyd Hicks misses the easy layup. He tries to stay with it. It's almost batted away. Hicks stays resilient and finally drops it in. We haven't seen him miss much in the early goings of his college career. 14 points, nearly 10 rebounds a game, and only 19 minutes per game through his first 4 games as a college athlete. We'll kick this one out to Sego, the backup point guard. That is Essa Sego, a 6'3 senior from Ivory Coast, Africa, making the tray ball. And now Michigan State is off to a really good start, but hopefully halting the run is number 44, as he once again gets by another trap. Kai Hendry had that block shot to begin the game, but now he's starting to look the part. We need him to be the alpha dog today. And that's a pretty big task, especially after last year. 7 minutes to go. He wants 2 more. Hendry inside. It's knocked away. That actually go in the books as a block, and then it's Tavon Kinlaw, who's such a great defender. He's 6'9", but he plays a 2 guard. That's 8 inches between him and Kendry that he gives up. Bennett Pincala goes into the post. He finds Junior Battle inside, and we will swing it around to Pat Park, who's been hot to begin this game. He's going up against Tavon Kinlaw now as he slides to the 3. Another miss by Hendry, but it's Junior Battle inside. He's trying to fight, kicking it out to Damian Carter for 3. And that's a huge shot to cut the lead down to 6. One of the big storylines of this season has been Damian Carter's awesome 3-point shooting. He's 4 for 9 coming into this game. And we recruited him for his defense and his playmaking, which he's done a lot of. 4.5 assists, 2.5 steals on his freshman year so far. But how about now 5 of 10 from 3-point range? But speaking of 3-point range, there comes Donnell Abrams, who extends his shot to the perimeter this time. That's something he didn't have last year, but I guess he's been in the gym, so definitely didn't have that in the scouting report on their top scorer from the game a year ago. Michigan State still in control, an 8-point game. It's been teetering on the blink of 10 points for the better part of the half now, but we got to get things going. Chen Lee bounce pass to Timo Cruz. We didn't have him last year either. Nicely done off the bench. Cruz and a lot of his bench companions had an awesome game against the Memphis Tigers in the loss last time out. Chen Lee, Junior Battle, Dustin Black, and Timo, they all 4 played great. So we'll see if they can pack a punch here with Pat Park being the only starter on the floor. Nice pass from the high post. Junior Battle bounce passes it through. A lot of congestion there and finds Dustin Black for the second straight 3 for the Fordham Rams. That'll get us back into it. And then Junior Battle blocks Barrett. We go with Pat Park on the other end. He will cut it to a 2-point game. Fordham now starting to feel themselves. This is the spark we needed. And now the Breslin Center back up on their feet. They're trying to drown out Fordham in this momentum they have. Let's see, a pick here at the high post. Junior Battle trying to free up Dustin Black. Good pick and roll defense, but they didn't account for Pat Park sneaking baseline. My man's already closing in on double digits. He's been the top scorer for Fordham today, but another great find by Fordham as a team. This time it's Dustin Black with a no-look dish in close quarters. Really impressive there. 28 apiece now, back to a tie game. Loving the run by the Fordham Rams as we get some starters back in there. Everyone except for Dustin Black is a starter now, but we lose track of Tavon Kinlaw. And it wasn't bad defense there by Kaya either. It was just the fact that he gives up so much height, unfortunately, to the 6'9" sophomore. But check out Pat Park on the next possession. The freshman from Philly is not scared. And he's got the retaliating blow right there. 12 now for Pat Park after his first 3 on the ball game. Inside, though, more good playmaking we see from both teams as Kinlaw finds a layup down low thanks to the nice pass by Ray Dillard, who was the hero last year. They stay in this full court press, and we find yet another cutting player. It's Bennett Pincala, who is in the right place at the right time. Fordham definitely looking a lot more comfortable this time around against the press as Pat Park strips it from Dillard. He'll stop short, but it's blocked. Nice try there by Pat Park, but this Michigan State's team has great closing speed on these interior shots here in the first half. 33-33. Ray Dillard, what a take there against Dustin Black, who's probably our best perimeter defender, so that's not by any means easy. Under a minute now to go, we tie things back up at 35. 18 to shoot inside to Lloyd Hicks, who's been a little quiet, and he misses again. Just not the same success here against Donnell Abrams and Nick Barrett down low, which is kind of what we expected. Lloyd Hicks off to such a great start to his college career. We're going to need him if we're going to shock the number 2 team in the country, but we got them on the ropes right now. Donnell Abrams from outside will make it a 2-point game, possibly as we go into the half. Abrams, their top player for the Spartans, and that would be the score as we head into the locker room. 37-35. Really good offensive showing by both teams. I really love the playmaking and the unselfish behavior from both sides. That's been really the X factor for both teams. Pat Park and Abrams both with 12 to lead their respective teams. as we head into the second half. Number 2 team in the nation on the ropes, but not because they're playing bad. Fordham's just been up to the task so far, but we got to get this guy going. Not a great way to start the half, though. Kai Hendry, 1 for 5 shooting at the break, so he's on pace to do what he did last year, 2 for 10. As Jacob Bruce steps it back, no good. Lloyd Hicks inside, only 2 rebounds to this point. A far cry from his 3 double-doubles in 5 games he's had so far in his college career. As Bennett Pinkala, now he rolls off the pick and finishes strong in the paints as Damian Carter finally records his first bucket. And then the kid who's leading us in steals basically forces one right there. It won't go in the box score as a steal, but Carter applying pressure to Devon Kinlaw as he throws it away. So now Fordham has the lead and the possession. And Damian Carter setting up Pat Park here as he comes off a Kai Hendry screen and puts it in for 14 points now. The true freshman has not batted an eye despite going into one of the most hostile territories in college basketball. It's been no problem for the Philadelphia kid. 42-39, Fordham leads. And after the slow start where we saw Michigan State go up by as much as 12 points, this game has been turned upside down. Kinlaw for 3. He knocks yet another one down. Kai Hendry continues to have trouble with him as they try to switch it. Pat Park, no avail there on the closeout. So now checking in for Fordham with 8:20 to go as Michigan State takes a 4-point lead. We see Timo Cruz coming back in along with Chen Lee and Junior battle. And again, Dustin Black is beat off the dribble by Ray Dillard. Man, that kid has such a tight handle. He stays healthy from the field, a healthy percentage of 100%. And then right off the steal there on the press, Donnell Abrams records 2 more to extend it to an 8-point Michigan State lead. Oh man, what's going on now with Fordham? We were looking so great there for a second, but then 8 unanswered points has now given Michigan State some hope. Backdoor to Pat Park, kicking it out to Timo Cruz. He flicks it from the corner and gets 3 more. Just like the one he had in the first half, he's got to put much arc to get it over the 6'9" Kinlaw, but it's nothing but net for Timo Cruz, the former Richmond High School Oiler. Still a 7-point game, though. Michigan State with that one little run to separate themselves. Is it too little, too late for Fordham? We got to stay up and in it. Pat Park, we got to keep feeding the hot hand. He goes to the block. Now another one to Dustin Black. He just left it short. That 3-pointer in the right corner has been really good for us today. We keep finding shots there, but great closing speed by Chen Lee and Timo to stop the break. Pat Park, he finds it out on the perimeter. He wants the baseline. Yes, 2 more. I have been so impressed with Park today with his versatility. He's done it against zone, against man, against Kinlaw, against whoever the Spartans decide to put on number 1, but he still continues to get it done. Same 5 out on the floor, 5 minutes to go, 5-point game. Bruce to Abrams, Chen Lee trying to toe in here. Come on. Oh, you got to pick that pass off, Pat Park. Come on, you can't allow that right now. Back up to a 7-point advantage for the Spartans. We'll call timeout smartly. Pat Park, or rather Dustin Black, almost got into some trouble there, but it also gives us an opportunity to get our starters back out on the floor. But Pat Park will take a breather with Timo coming back in and playing the 3 right now. Dillard from the corner for 3. He was the hero last year, and that's a huge shot. Dillard was the guy who forced double overtime with a game-tying 3-point shot when we thought we had it sealed. It comes up big again. Michigan State now up 6. Timo Cruz still in the game. We got to try to get it done without Pat Park for a little bit. He's just gassed with all the production he's given us. Under 4 to play now. Kinlaw open for 3, and it just doesn't fall. But Donnell Abrams again on the glass. 18 now for the 6'9" senior. And he's also reached his season average as well. Pinkala, corner 3. Hendry, we need one, and he delivers finally. All right, Kai Hendry. It's better late than never. 9 points. Although it's only 1 for 4 from 3, and his field goal percentage as a whole doesn't look much better, but he still finds pay dirt when we need it the most. Ray Dillard looking for a screen. He surveys. 19 to shoot, 3:13 in the ball game. He gets pie. Damian Carter and Timo Cruz fouls him, and he will at least make him earn it, but a good time to put Pat Park back in the game. We can't win this game without him right now. We need him out on the floor as Dillard luckily misses the first one, And you might be shocked to learn that he would actually miss the second one as well. Michigan State stays at 63 points, surprisingly, as Dillard, who's been so clutch in both meetings, misses both free throws. So we'll set things up here with Pat Park. Got to keep the ball in his hands right now. And we'll see if we can set something up for him as Michigan State goes back to man. We're going to give it to Pat Park. We ran this play earlier. He got 2. This time, he kicks it out to Kai Hendry for 3. Time out, Spartans, as we get within 2. It just takes 2 possessions for Fordham to get back into it. Look at the body language. These Rams are not going away. They're dying for this win. And the crazy thing about it is most of these guys weren't even on the team last year to really experience that heartache, but they're still fighting for it. Regardless, they're trying to avenge those 5 seniors last year that went out with the loss. Ray Dillard now really struggling as he gives it away with a shot that hit the bottom of the basket and flies out of bounds. Really bad mistake there as Michigan State is now starting to sputter. 2:24 to go. A basket ties it. Now back to his own, trying to show us different looks. Lloyd Hicks, high post, inside. Pat Park, he had it for his moment, but they closed in on him. 8 seconds to go on the game clock, rather the shot clock. Damian Carter, bounce pass. Pat Park for the lead, and it goes in. Pat Park knocks it down for 3. And it was thanks to one of the most crazy bounces you will ever see. Look at this shooter's touch. Talk about a soft bounce. Grazes the backboard, hits about every part of the rim, and this shot of the year takes the lead for the Fordham Rams on the road against the number 2 team in the country. Pat Park, what can't you do today, my man? Fordham trying to improve to 4-1 on the year, on the young season. And that would be the biggest win of the entire series. Ray Dillard, a couple mistakes there, but he comes up big here with the elbow jam. Nice play there in by the Spartans. So State back out in front. We would come up empty on their next possession, and then Donnell Abrams would get fouled. So now he's got a chance to make it a 3-point game with 1:37 to go. He gets 2 of 2. So now Michigan State up by 3. Damian Carter and company trying to defeat this trap. We've done pretty well against it today, especially compared to last year. And we get it across the timeline inside, but it's Kai Hendry who turns it over, trying to fit it inside to Bennett Pinkala on the fast break. And then Jacob Bruce dunks on Pat Park. But the refs bail us out and call a blocking foul on the floor. I don't know how you don't give State continuation on that, but we'll take it. 1:18 to go, no basket for the Spartans, and we get it back. Pinkala with active hands. Damian Carter outside to Hendry, but we will take it easy here. Don't need a turnover here in the clutch. That was our biggest reason why we lost last year. We're trying to learn from our mistakes. Number 44 catches the pass. Kinlaw in his pocket. 54 to go. Lloyd Hicks, top of the key, puts his shoulder into Nick Barrett's. He goes over his right shoulder for the little teardrop post hook. 12 points for Lloyd Hicks, making half his shots today. He's had a big second half. We've needed it too. 1-point game. A stop in the score takes the lead for the Rams. Ray Dillard inside, and he gets a 5-second closely guarded call. What a call there by the official at this point in the game. Ray Dillard, too much dribbling, and Damian Carter got the count from the ref, and he calls it. It's a turnover for the Spartans. Ray Dillard starting to unravel here. 5 turnovers on the game. And considering Dillard was the one that extended it to double overtime last year with that 3, it's good to see him struggling. Nice sense of justice here in this one for that shot he hit last year for sure. But now we got to put that aside and find a way to take the lead. Let's give it to Pat Park and let him clear out. He's been the guy all day long. This is where he excels. A Philly-born kid who's good at one-on-one. Let's do it. Crossover on Jacob Bruce inside for the lead. It's a little too strong, and now we've forced a foul. Oh man, Ray Dillard will go to the line now. But wait, the refs, they called a clear path foul. Oh my goodness. That means Michigan State will get 2 shots and the ball. And with Ray Dillard's free throw shooting ability, this is basically 2 points you can put on the board immediately. He goes 2 for 2 on the technical free throws, thanks to a questionable clear path foul. And now with 7 seconds to go, we got a foul once again and hope for a miss. Michigan State is only in the 1-and-1, so Abrams will be the inbounder. You got to keep it away from Dillard. Come on, don't let him catch it. They give it to Jacob Bruce as we foul him. I'm glad we kept it out of Ray Dillard's hands here. Jacob Bruce, a 6'7" sophomore. Let's see what he's got. One make, and it's basically the end of the game. Bruce for the front end. It's off, but it's pulled down by Nick Barrett. He makes the layup to effectively end this game. 2 seconds, 1 second. Kai Hendry from half court. Doesn't matter anyway. The Fordham Rams drop the rematch, 71-66. But what a way to lose there. The clear path foul there that was called, and Lloyd Hicks failing to grab the rebound, which I don't think I've ever seen to this point in his career, as Coach Carter launches from the bench and him and his team try to swallow this loss and move forward. Oh man, we fall to 0-2 lifetime against the Spartans, and the number 2 team in the country escapes. 19 points for Pat Park. He put on a clinic today. He was not scared in the slightest. Damian Carter, great defense on Ray Dillard. And Kai Hendry, after starting 1 for 5, returned in the second half and shot 4 for 6 in the final 15 minutes. So I think safe to say he finally responded and had the good half and really helped us get back into this game. And Lloyd Hicks, once again, was a little bit tough to watch today. He turned it up a little bit in the second half, but he allowed 20 to Danielle Abrams and got worked on the glass today. I think he's, not as perhaps invincible as we thought he was, which is okay. He's got a lot of time to grow. So finally, we go back home to the Rose Hill Gym, which is nice to see because we started this year November 7th and it's November 24th and we're finally playing our first home game. And especially after a tough loss, I think this is a great time to go home and face the Hofstra Pride, who are much better than what their conference would indicate. This is an 81 overall team, the same overall as us. They're 5-2 to begin the year, including a tough loss against NC State, who was the defending runner-ups. Champs last year in March Madness, and then they also beat Syracuse at home. So this team has competed with some very good ball clubs, and it's a team that we have a bit of a gripe against. They took our number 1 prospect last year from us. That's why I scheduled this game. 6'6" freshman Martin Beeler shocked the recruiting world by choosing Hofstra over other schools, such as other New York teams like Syracuse. But something happened to Martin Beeler, which will definitely bum us out a little bit. Beeler will not be active today because he tore his ACL and will receive a medical red shirt to retain a year of eligibility. That kind of sucks. I really wanted to play him, and I feel for this kid. Sure, we had a bit of a bone to pick because he chose Hofstra out of nowhere over Coach Carter and Fordham, but still though, I wanted to see him play and I wanted to see him have a really good freshman year. So definitely sucks that we won't be able to be playing him here, but this is still a good Hofstra team outside of it, and I hope to see him make a full and speedy recovery. Lloyd Hicks, though, also looking to make a speedy recovery after the up and down Michigan State game, and he will put the best foot forward here. I think this is a game where he could do really well, and he just needs to watch out for number 25, Stephon Patrick for Hofstra. He is a 10-point per game scorer. He's also 6'11", so some height can finally compete with Lloyd Hicks. Most of these teams we've been playing haven't had the height like Hicks provides on a nightly basis. But look at this pass right here from the top player in possibly all of the Colonial Athletic Conference, number 23, Vlad Jamison, with a delicious feed here outside. The 6'4" senior, who stands at 220 pounds, might be a tough matchup today for Damian Carter. He's averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals in his senior year, and he's the favorite to win the Player of the Year award in the Colonial Athletic. Here he is again on the break. Number 23 scans the court and tries to find a teammate to extend this awesome beginning for the Hofstra Pride, and he will! He'll kick it out to number 2, Derek Burleson, for 3. This is a very talented shooting team, and they are taking advantage of Fordham here early. 20-11. What a start here by the Pride, and it'll only get worse as they'll extend this to double digits. Smart from mid-range will knock down 2 more. 22-11. We're trying to go quick here, get back 2 more points. Pat Park for a much needed and 1. Well, it looks like we're getting a lot better this year at breaking the press. A lot of this new blood plays pretty fast and carefree. Sometimes that could be a bad thing going up against pressure, but so far it's been working for us. We've definitely turned the ball over less facing full court pressure this year than last year, I feel. 2:13 left in the first half, 29-19. Still trying to get back into it, but Lloyd Hicks grabs the steal, bounce pass to Damian Carter, a foot inside the 3-point line, but he will knock it down. Finally, Fordham makes a jumper. That's been one of our biggest problems today, stopping Hofstra's outside shooting and then finding our own ability to, or looks to attack outside. So let's see if we can turn that around alongside with this offensive slump. We get another and 1 to help us out. Stephon Patrick fouling Chen Lee. That's his second foul. And with the jump shots not working so far today, we have done a great job of getting to the line here near the end of the first half. That's also really helped us get back into this game. And Chen Li knocks down a 3-point play, so we'll head into halftime at least in it and playing a lot more competitive than the beginning of this game. But we finished the half in the bonus, so a lot of free throws taken by Fordham as we now only trail by 4. Kai Hendry trying to stop the top player in the Colonial Conference, and he will do a good job of that, forcing him into a turnover. Chen Li grabs the second steal, and then Hendry scores on top of the 6'4 Jamison. 6 points for Hendry. 3 for 5 shooting, got to get him more involved. 5 field goal attempts for our top player is not enough at this point in the game. Jamison trying to go in and out. Inside, tough take there. And that was due in part to Lloyd Hicks providing the help side defense. Hendry bounced pass to Pat Park. This one will tie it up at 35 apiece. What a run here by Fordham. They were down by much as 11 in this one. But this time, just like in the Michigan State game, they turn it around and they're back competing in a big way. Damian Carter looking for Chen Li at the high post, getting aggressive there in the paint, but it's all aroused just to free up Kai Hendry from the free throw line. Fordham back out on top, their first lead in the entirety of this ball game, actually. So here we go with Tachana from 3. That's no good as the Pride are starting to finally come back down to earth a little bit. Hendry dropping a defender as he scores 2 more. 8 quick points in the second half alone for the sophomore, and he will leave number 31 in the dust. What an awesome play there. A little hesitation, it's all it took to put a Hofstra Pride player on his highlight reel. The swag is back for Fordham. But can we finally shake the Pride? Because now they're back and they're shooting well again. So it's now a grudge match here. It's anybody's ball game with both offenses playing well here. But this one is turned over. Pat Park with an alert steal to dunk it down on the other end. Park continues to play excellent basketball here in episode number 41. Timeout Pride. Can we finally get rid of them? Well, not quite yet. They'll tie things back up at 54. With 5:28 to go, Damian Carter and the rest of the starters out there trying to see if they can quiet down the Pride and finish this ball game. Great defense there by Lloyd Hicks, but somehow number 11, Rodney Manning, a 6'8 sophomore, will knock it down right in his face. Nearly a turnover there by Damian Carter, but will regain possession and set things up. But the question is on defense for the Hofstra Pride. With Hendry, Lloyd Hicks, and Pat Park all playing well here in the second half, who do you focus on? Well, Damian Carter looks to try to find Hicks for a post-up opportunity. It's kicked around to Hendry, not the guy you want to leave open. Hendry with 20, and 16 of those have come in the second half. He's been the sole proprietor, or at least the main proprietor, of this second half run, and what could be a very nice comeback win here in our first home game of the year. Wayne Scott on the wing. Looks inside to Manning, who will knock it down thanks to a nice up and under move. Rodney Manning, a Philadelphia-born kid. He's been scoring at a high rate and also doing some jong too. But we'll see if anything comes of it as Hofstra comes back within a single basket. High post to Hicks. He'll try to use his power and his muscle to gain 2 points. Well, he does that and some, as he'll actually earn an opportunity to make it a 3-point possession, as he looks like he's narrowing on yet another double-double. He's got the rebounds. Now he needs this free throw to get to 10 points, and he will. Lloyd Hicks coming up big once again. Timeout, Hofstra pride, as Hicks tallies yet another double-double on his young career. Cannot believe the impact he's made on both ends. Now he's setting a pick here for Damian Carter. Bounce pass. Kai Hendry wants to stay red hot, and he will do just that. 25 for Kai Hendry, and it was a beautiful dish there by Damian Carter. It feels like I've said that multiple times here in the early goings of his career. I really think Damian Carter is the floor general we needed, and he's really done a good job in a lot of these games. He wants another assist here to Pinkala, but it's turned over. I don't need any dumb mistakes like that here down the stretch. Under a minute to play, Jamison with yet another crazy Magic Johnson-esque pass, and he'll find Manning for 3. Pinkala, though, maybe a little bit frustrated because he wants those points right back, as he takes it right back at Manning, but he's chopped down by number 11. And then look at this. What's going on underneath the basket? Right in front of the official, Manning and number 30, Rich Tachana, they stand over Bennett Pinkala and step over him as well. Thunderous boos rain down from the Rose Hill gym crowd. They don't like the way one of their own was treated by the Hofstra front court right there, but Pinkala will take his free throws and run back on the other end. 70-65, this game pretty much decided, but not without some bad blood here at the end. The hard foul on one end, and then Manning is now intentionally fouled by Pinkala as he throws a shove right back at him. Oh no, Pinkala decided to retaliate, and now there's something brewing at center court. The teams meet at the free throw line. We might have some fisticuffs here as the teams, it's a pushing and shoving match. The ref's trying to break it up. Not a good scene here at the Rose Hill gym as the coach is begging their benches not to engage. But it will be a suspended game here with 45 seconds left to go. The officials decide to call it, meaning Fordham wins due to the ref's discretion, but a tough way to end this home opener. Really sad behavior there by Rodney Manning, violently fouling Pinkala when the game was out of reach, and then standing over him on the one end. There's just no place for that, but then Pinkala coming back at him wasn't right either. It was definitely understandable given the circumstances, but it did start the fights, and we'll see if Coach Carter hands down any discipline to him, because it sucks. This was a great comeback win. We overcame a really slow start to take this game and win our home opener, but it seems like the fight's going to be what's going to be most talked about moving forward, which is a shame. That's not how it should be. But a fight ends the Hofstra game early after a 71-65 win. So we do get the win, but definitely going to be some things talked about moving on, because Coach Carter has zero tolerance to behavior like that. So all we can do is put it in the rearview mirror. Enough talk about it. We're going to be continuing our homestand next episode as we highlight episode number 42 and what's coming in the future. We're going to get winnable games against Butler and NJIT. We'll probably simulate those two. And then we're going to get NC State as well in that episode, the runner-up from the national title game last year. So a huge game in that one, but some drama here in this one. We had the Michigan State loss. It was a great game, but we just fell short. And then Bennett Pinkala getting into a fight with the forward on Hofstra, Rodney Manning. We'll see if anything comes out of it. Any suspensions handed down, any discipline given by Coach Carter. He has no place for that kind of stuff on his team. So we'll see next episode what's in store for Pinkala's near future. So that's going to be it for today, guys. A pretty action-packed episode. Had the Michigan State rematch and also had a fight there at the end of the episode. So we'll see what happens next time around. The schedule gets a little bit softer for us, and we'll try to take advantage next time out. So I hope you guys have a great night. My name is College Sports Survive. I'm signing out after this crazy episode, and I hope to see you in episode 42 next time around. Have a great night and stay tuned, everybody.